How's it going, everybody? This is the second episode of the Nerd Buffet podcast.
Yes, Nerd Buffet Podcast, where if you go home hungry, it's your own fault.
So, today what we're going to talk about is, again, video games, the WWE, and wrestling. We're not just going to go WWE because we'll expand out if we ever want to talk about something. And we're going to talk about some movies. For the main course, though, today, what we wanted to do is do a little bit of show and tell, I think.
Yeah, show and tell.
Show and tell would be the right word.
I wish we had this stuff when we had show and tell in school.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you would be the idols of the school. If
Look what I have.
Yeah, look at all these games we have.
Right. I've got stuff that I've picked up within the last month or two. I've got some other cool stuff, but I've been really lucky, especially recently. So I thought I would kind of share some of those plunders that I had, and I don't really know what you even have.
I just have some games that I like. I got a few reproduction and ROM hacks that I picked up that I really enjoy.
You've really gotten into that lately.
Yeah.
We can kind of talk about that more. I honestly don't know a single thing about ROM hacks or any of those machines.
Yeah, you're like, if it's not real, it's not a real
Yeah,
game.
if it's and by real, we should even kind of slim this definition down. Real is like, if we're talking about Nintendo, if it's a third party title, it's more than likely not real. So, anyways, let's get to it.
Well, for my portion of the show and tell today, I have a few things. First, I want to show you this little toy I got. It's Mario. Just a little statue, doesn't do anything cool. But I got that from the Club Nintendo Platinum Award. So if you buy enough games in the year and register them with Nintendo, they send you a cool thing. So that was the cool thing I got. I also got some games that I picked up recently. I got Kid Icarus, which is a game that I never really played as a kid, but it is a lot of fun. I know it's regained some popularity because of the Smash Brothers series.
I don't know anything about Kid Icarus besides him being in Smash.
Yeah. So yeah, this is fun. Here's Contra. I talked about it last time. Picked it up. It's a lot of fun too. And this is the game I also talked about last time, Crystallis, which is, I'm going to consider a hidden gem. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I said last time, it's an RPG style. It's very much like Zelda, more post-apocalyptic. A lot of fun.
Don't you love the art cover work on these?
Yeah.
I mean, look at it's like a kid. Do you play as a kid in the game, or is it just like that's supposed to be you taking on the role playing?
Yeah, it really doesn't explain what age you are in the game right away, but I would assume you're a kid. Okay, now I have Earthbound here. It's a classic Super Nintendo game.
So good.
I picked that one up fairly cheap. It's probably the rarest, most expensive game I own. I don't know about the rarest, but it's the most expensive game I own.
Most expensive, because loose like that, it's probably what?
It's at least $150
Yeah.
it goes for.
The funny thing about that is I don't think you've never beat the game yourself, right?
No.
Because I came over to his house and I was like, oh my god, you have Earthbound. And I put it in and I made him a file so he would start it. And so I named the main character Tommy and named all his characters. I'm like, here's the intro.
Favorite food and all that
Right.
other stuff.
I did. Here's the intro. And then he watched me play the entire game. So I took all of your fun.
Well, I watched you play most of it. I was working nights at the time, so I was in and out of consciousness, while you were playing it. So there's still some parts of it that I haven't yet to experience.
Seriously, play it sometime. Yeah. It's good.
And speaking of Earthbound, I have on Game Boy Advance, and I bought you a copy of this too. This is the Mother 3 fan translation.
Yes.
And this game, Mother 3, never came out in America, so a group of fans got together and did a ROM hack where they translated the game and made it for English audiences, which is awesome. I really like it so far from what I've played.
And yeah, I've only played a little bit of it. I I don't have a lot of excuses other than I have so many games I'm trying to play. But I need to get this up on my high list of things to do. But is it not atrocious that game has not officially come out yet?
Yeah, I don't understand why Nintendo hasn't.
Does Nintendo hate money or what?
There may be something in the game that they're fearful of copyrights and lawsuits, kind of like with Earthbound, the reason they didn't bring it to the Virtual Console
Blues
forever.
Brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Blues Brothers reference and stuff. So I don't know if that's the case. I really don't know what the problem is. I've been playing it on this device, which is pretty neat. It's called the Super Retro Advance Adapter. This is obviously aftermarket thing that came out for the Super Nintendo, and which lets you play Game Boy Advance games on your Super Nintendo. It's made by Retrobit, which makes the Retron games and stuff. The Retron systems you've seen, the Retron 5 and the Retro Duo and stuff. They made this thing here, and it's pretty awesome. Lets you play your GBA games on the big screen without having to pay the ridiculous price for the Game Boy Advance adapter for your GameCube.
Yes. And plus, you can never find both pieces together unless, I mean, you go on eBay and good luck.
You have to have the piece that plugs into your GameCube and also the disc, and the disc is just super hard to find.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You can get the piece by itself for like $5, but the disc is going to cost you $60.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And speaking of ROM hacks, I have here for the Super Nintendo. This is not really a ROM hack. It's a translation, fan translation as well.
Okay.
This is Star Ocean, and it's the biggest RPG ever released on the Super Nintendo.
Biggest, like, most popular, or biggest, like, the most
biggest
expansive?
file size.
Oh, geez.
If you feel the heft of this game, it's heavy.
Okay, yeah. I could literally hold, I would say close to 2 Super Nintendo games to get this heft.
Yeah,
it's like double the
There's
weight.
like 3 chips in this system, in this cart.
Just to hold it?
As opposed to the one that's in most Super Nintendo games. Like if I were to take apart Earthbound and take apart this and show you the chips, this one has 3 compared to the one that's in Earthbound. So, and it's a good game. It reminds me a lot of Chrono Trigger in the art style and the battles. The battles are still random, like Final Fantasy or something.
Yeah.
But the way you control during the fights is a lot like Chrono Trigger.
Cool.
So I really like that. Speaking of RPGs, I have here, this is Final Fantasy VII English edition on the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES.
What?
Yeah, this is what they call a demake. They took a game that came out on the PlayStation 1 and they went back and demade it for the Nintendo. And it uses assets and sprite styles from like Final Fantasy 1 and 2 that came out on the 8-bit system. And then they retell the story of Final Fantasy 7 through text boxes and...
Here's my question, and I didn't think of this until right now. So Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation 1 was a pretty long game, wasn't it?
3 discs, actually, 3 CDs.
Right, and how many hours, I'm saying, like, to beat the game? I'm not a Final Fantasy person.
You can. Some people beat it in 30, 40, but I mean, there's probably 80 hours of gameplay on that.
So how do they cut that down and make it playable on NES? Is there a save system somehow?
There's saves. It's battery backup saves on
here.
Like Zelda and
Right.
Final Fantasy had battery backup saves. But quite a bit of the side quests have been cut from the Nintendo, which is understandable. Yuffie and Vincent Valentine aren't playable. They're not in the game. They're side characters, optional characters from Final Fantasy VII that you didn't have to pick up. So they're not in the game. But they've done a really good job with what they have to work with. Going from 3D to 8-bit.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool. I also have a ROM hack here. This is My Little Pony, Dr. Discord's Conquest. And this is a ROM hack of Mega Man 3. And you play as Twilight Sparkle. And you're Mega Man, basically. And you run around, you're shooting. All the levels have been redesigned.
to look like
things from
ponies things
that look like My Little Pony.
I don't know much about ponies, but
Yeah.
except for we weren't we were a little inebriated and we watched the movie where the ponies turned into people.
Yeah.
And I made fun of you through the
Yeah.
whole thing, and I think I ruined it. But which
To be expected, I guess.
yeah, but anywho, that's the extent of my knowledge when it comes to ponies. Is the game good? Have you played it
it's
much?
fun. It's Mega Man.
It's
It's
same
just
thing.
like Mega Man. All the robot bosses have been replaced with characters from My Little Pony.
Yeah.
And once you defeat them, you gain their powers. Just
Do you
like
turn
Mega Man.
into like just different color, or does it like turn you into a different pony or something?
You get a different like palette swap of Twilight, and then you
Cool.
can use their powers. So it's pretty interesting just to see what people have done, put it on a cart, and put this much effort into it. You know. So
Yeah.
Lastly, when it comes to games, I have two here that I just brought in because of I really like Scott Pilgrim, the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've talked about that, but Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the bands that they compete against are named after these NES games.
Oh, sweet.
And I have this one here, the Clash at Demonhead. And that's a fun adventure platform game. It's pretty big. It has like a choose your own level.
Yeah, I've
design.
never heard of it or played it. Is it something that you'd like want to play again?
Yeah,
and show us?
it's fun. I would show it to you guys. And this is Crashing the Boys Street Challenge. The band in the movie is called Crashing the Boys.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like a track and field kind of type event. There's like hurdles and dodgeball
Okay.
and stuff like that. But it's all River City Ransom, I think. The people who made River City Ransom made this game.
So it
because
looks like River City.
it looks like
Ransom.
River City Ransom sprites and everything. But
When
it's-
do you kill each other and
yeah,
then
you can
barf
fight each
out
other.
coins?
Yeah, they don't barf out coins because
Okay.
there's no currency in the game. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. And lastly, here, we both like Grand Theft Auto a lot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, and it was a pretty big deal. We waited in line at GameStop to get it. And I was the first one at the GameStop to get my copy. I got this
Proudly.
Yeah.
I'm the first.
Yeah, I got the special edition Grand Theft Auto 4, and went home immediately and played it. And I that week I broke up with my girlfriend at the time, so I was kind of just wanted to lock myself in the room anyway. And so I didn't go to school, I didn't go to college at all that week.
You know the funny thing, like reversely, when I got to like the second or third mission, I got the Red Ring of Death. So I gained a girlfriend that week. I'm not even kidding. That was when I started dating. So,
But Rockstar had a promotion where if you could 100% complete the game in the first week it was out, they said they'd give you the key to the city, which was the achievement. Also, the name of the achievement for 100% of the game was the key to the city.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I didn't think much of it. But then a couple weeks later, in the mail, I get this box, and it has this inside. It says, with compliments, and it has Rockstar's logo on there.
That's sweet.
And it came with this little black velvet box.
What's in the box?
Open it up, and
What's in the box?
just a little aluminum machine key in there that has the Rockstar logo and has the 4
That's really freaking
for
cool.
the teeth. So yeah, that's one of the coolest things I got video game related, because there's not a whole lot of them out there. You know?
Yeah, and I'm pretty jealous of that. That's cool. I would want something like that, but I wasn't willing to. Well, okay, I wasn't able to because I had the Red Ring of freaking Death, but I probably honestly wouldn't have been able to or willing to put in the time and effort for it.
I remember the worst part was the pigeons. Finding the pigeons.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like to use guidebooks. And did you?
I used the guidebook to find the pigeons, and
Rightfully so. I mean, who in their right mind would have found?
But
it?
I played the rest of the game just without a guidebook. So
Sweet. Well, thanks for sharing, dude. That was really
yeah,
cool.
yeah.